Ah, so glad to be here. Happy Sunday. So much healing is happening. I feel so strongly. Wow, it's so great. So great. This weekend, I did 3 forgiveness workshops, one Friday, one Saturday, one Sunday, and so much benefit. And have 2 more coming up next weekend. I haven't picked the times yet. So I might actually put up that poll here in this so everybody can vote here, see what you think. All right, so let's get underway. I'm going to start us off with a prayer. Very grateful, very thankful for the power of love within us, grateful and thankful to give ourselves over to infinite intelligence, pure love, pure light, pure wisdom and clarity. We are grateful to open our hearts and minds to the truth. We come together for this holy purpose of rising up above the battlefield, anchoring ourselves in our loving heart. What I know is that Ted's music is uplifting and inspiring. His very presence feels like a healing. What I know is that the words spoken are healing words. Divine dialogue is occurring. We open ourselves to hear the truth and to liberate from false beliefs, sharing the benefits with everyone everywhere. We let it be, and so it is. Amen, amen, amen. And I'm going to turn it over to Ted and invite you to. Nice to see you, Ted. Thanks for being here.
Oh, nice to be seen. Can you hear me all right?
Yes, sounds great.
Oh, thanks. Well, yeah, it's good to see Frankie. Frankie and I go back. He's in and out of the men's group. Of course, he's in Germany. It's not an easy thing for him to show up. Oh, Jennifer, you work, you work, you work diligently for God, and so this is a song, Jennifer. Even though this is, I think, number 58 times I've been here since 2022, and so I'm dedicating this to you. Even though the character in the song is a guy, you know, you get the point. Let's get a little. Let's make a little noise. Well, over in the part of town where most rents past due, beneath the missing shingle of a candlelit room, a paint chip on the ceiling viewed from the single bed. It flutters like an angel for the young man lying there. Beside him lays an old flat top asking for new strings, ignored while her pawn shop night whispers, Lord, please. I know you have a song for each of us to sing. I surrender these hands to your will, it's you they long to please. These hands will write your song of love for all mankind to sing. They'll play a song of hope for the old man on the street. And I know that you will provide for their every need. These hands surrender to your will, it's you they long to please. These hands, these hands, these hands, I do serve your will. cup of boiling water, and a half cup of oats, a golden swirl of honey on a pale piece of toast. And as the bright songs of little birds pass through the window shade, pours his first cup of coffee, then he bows his head and he prays. Lord, bless these hands, they give you thanks and praise. Thank you for this meal, for another day. And guide these hands, Lord, to earn thy daily bread. And bring them home safe, I ask, through your Son. Amen. These hands, these hands, these hands, I do serve your will. These hands, these hands, these hands, I do serve your will. Oh, I hope that came through okay.
It came through beautifully. Beautifully. It really, truly did. Yes, great sound. So whatever you did, it worked. Thank you, Ted. Thank you so much. All right. So I am so grateful for this new year. I'm so grateful to be out of that 2025 energy. I'm so grateful for the launch into this new year, even though the world seems like its hair is on fire. And there are definitely major, major challenges in the world that are unfolding. I am feeling great about the opportunities we have to rise up and to live a life of love. And for a long, long time, I studied the science of mind teachings. And when I got into A Course in Miracles teachings, one of the things I realized was with the science of mind teachings by Ernest Holmes, it is very much about the mind. And one of the things I feel about Ernest Holmes is that he is a very loving person, was a very loving person in his heart. And still, there's an aspect to the science of mind that feels very intellectual to me. And it does to other people too. People think that science of mind teachings are very dense. But once you get to A Course in Miracles, that also feels very dense and very intellectual. But for me, my personal experience of A Course in Miracles is that it directed me into that place of taking personal responsibility for everything I saw, for everything I think, for everything I feel. And that was the thing that I had avoided for a very long time. I didn't understand how incredibly liberating it is to start to refuse to believe one more minute that I am a victim of the world I see. I could never have believed that taking responsibility for what I think, for what I feel, and for what I see would be liberating. It would be happy making. It would be joyful. But it is. And I've talked about it many times. I've been sitting here a long time today. I got up during the forgiveness work, before the forgiveness workshop, when the forgiveness workshop ended, till right before we started here, but I still been sitting too much today. So I'm gonna probably be a little antsy in my chair. Um, I've talked about this many times because it's so important to me. It's so valuable to me, and that is that in the novel A Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens, the great thing for Ebenezer Scrooge when he wakes up on Christmas morning is that he realizes it's not too late. It's not too late. Christmas hasn't happened yet. It's Christmas morning. It's not too late for him to be a loving presence in the world. It's not too late for him to change his mind and go the other way. It's not too late for him to be generous. It's not too late for him to have fun and be in relationship with people. It's not too late. And so for me, that was one of the things I got out of the teachings of A Course in Miracles, is that it's never too late. It's never too late. First of all, one of the great things I've gotten from practicing and living A Course in Miracles, really living the lessons from my heart, is the realization that we truly are eternal, infinite beings. And so this is just one lifetime of many. So once I had that realization really clear in my mind, I just decided to put the pedal to the metal on healing my consciousness. And a lot of my ego goals, like, oh, I want to see the world, I want to go to all the different great, amazing places in the world and travel and sightsee, all of that fell away. It became uninteresting to me. I do enjoy traveling, but it's not my goal. I have some trips planned this year, but I wouldn't go if it wasn't an opportunity to be with people I love. The only reason I'm going is because it's an opportunity to spend quality time with the people I love. And honestly, if I could convince them to stay home with me, then I wouldn't have to go anywhere. I wouldn't have to get on a plane. I wouldn't have, because I just don't care that much about those kinds of experiences anymore. What's interesting to me is the inward journey and our relationship journeys. I talk about that all the time. But A Course in Miracles really helped me move into my heart, out of the intellect and into my heart. And I will always be grateful for that. And I'm teaching a 3-part class that started last week called A Life Led by Love. And it's about anchoring this year and the whole 9-year sequence, the numerology sequence of 9 years. We're always repeating sequences of 9 years to make this sequence about living a life led by love, is what this 3-part class is about. Part 2 is tomorrow, Monday. And one of the things that people say to me on a regular basis is, I've been studying A Course in Miracles a long time. I never thought to live it this way that you're talking about. And to me, the way that I'm talking about is the only way I can imagine doing it. And so one of the things for me was, and I've talked about this before too, was just focusing on taking responsibility, remembering that there are no private thoughts because our mind is the mind of God. And so we share the same mind. So we can't have a private thought. We can't harbor a resentment about somebody else that won't be felt by everyone everywhere. And so A Course in Miracles begins with, seek not to change the world, but to change your mind about the world. And it also talks about we're far too tolerant of mind wandering. And one of the ways that we're tolerant of mind wandering is complaining, our complaints, and our blaming other people for how we feel and what we think and what we experience. A Course in Miracles undoes all of that thinking if we're living it, because A Course in Miracles tells us very clearly multiple times that it is not possible in this world to experience one thing that we did not choose. It is not possible for us to experience anything in our life that we did not put into our script and choose to live. Now, there are many, many things in our script that we can avoid if we so choose. And the way to avoid them is to choose love. And so, hang on a second. I just want to change that. Okay. So one of the ways that we can move out of the painful experiences and the repeating painful experiences is to choose to love ourselves, to choose to love each other without needing anything in return, without us needing them to like us or to be kind to us or to help us or take care of us. We can live without needing anything from anyone. Thank you, Alexi. She says here, it's an amazing class, and I missed the rest of that. Yeah, thank you for recommending it. Yeah, it's so my decision to become focused on being loving was one of the best decisions I ever made. And it also was one of the most challenging things I ever decided to do in my life, was simply to focus on being loving all the time. And as it came up in some of the forgiveness workshops this weekend, people feel taken advantage of. Anybody ever feel taken advantage of? Well, here's the thing about feeling, yeah, Stefan is laughing like, yeah, of course he has. All right, that's how I'm interpreting your laugh. But one of the things we can know about feeling taken advantage of is it is not possible in this world for anyone to take advantage of us without our full permission. Right? So we're giving permission. So one way that people take advantage of us, so it seems, is we give them something and they don't give us something in return. But if we're giving in order to get something in return, then we're making a deal. And sometimes we say, oh, I'm going to give them this, and I expect that in return. But if we haven't laid out those terms in advance, then they may not know that. So they're not fulfilling their end of the deal because they didn't know there was an agreement to give something. Now, it's true. Sometimes we make an agreement. I'll take care of your children if you cut my grass and plow my snow. I'll do those things for you if you do those things for me. And then the person doesn't follow through. But did they take an advantage of us, or did they just not follow through on their agreement? That's a different thing. But oftentimes when people say that someone took advantage of them, they didn't actually articulate what the agreement is. And so we often find that people are giving something, giving some kindness, giving some care, giving some help, some support in some way, shape, or form. And they're expecting something back. They're expecting to have a new friend. and be treated like a close friend. They're expecting for someone to take care of them in some way, shape, or form. But they never articulated that. They just assumed that they would be able to go back and ask for something. And we've all been in situations probably where somebody gave us something and then later they said, hey, I'd like you to do this for me. And you go, oh, yeah, I don't feel like doing that for you. No, I'm not going to do that. And they're like, yeah, but I did this for you. Why won't you do this when I'm asking you for me? It's like, well, I did that. You did that for me. I thought because you wanted to. I didn't know you were doing it to get something from me. You never said that. So we get surprised by those kinds of things. And I see so many people in their relationships with their family and with their friends where they're disappointed in their family and friends because they gave them something and they didn't get anything back. But that kind of disappointment we are doing to ourselves. And it pollutes our relationship. It's not very loving to tell people I'm going to, or to give something to somebody, expecting something in return from them without telling them and without giving them an opportunity to say, yeah, hold on to your stuff. I don't want your stuff because I am not interested in making that contract, that deal with you. If you want to give me something, give me something. And if I'd like to give you something, I'll give you something. And one of the great gifts in my life was my best friend, Gina. When we were new friends, she lives in Greece. She's Greek. And I went to visit her and I was staying, she has a home on an island, a vacation home on an island. And she has, her father built the house right next to his and her mother's house. And so they weren't there. So she said, you can stay in my mom's house and I'll be right here, right next door. The houses are adjoining. And so you have your space and I have mine and it's perfect. So in the morning, she said, I know you have work to catch up on. So you do your work. I'll make us some breakfast and then I'll go into town and get some groceries and you can have the space to work and we can decide what we'd like to do for lunch later. And so I said, oh, that sounds great. And I'll do the dishes after the breakfast and I'll pay for the groceries since you're going to get them. And she just looked at me disappointed and she said, Jennifer, let's not do that. Please don't. I mean, if you want to give me something, you give me something. And if I'd like to give you something, I'll give you something. We don't have to accept what each other would like to give for each other, but we don't have to do that thing of you do this and because you did that, I will do this. Let's just free flow with it. And if you feel like doing something, you do it. If I feel like something, I'll do it. And if I want to offer you to buy your dinner or your lunch, I will do that. You can accept or not accept, but you don't owe me if you accept. And I thought, oh, this is the kind of friend that is perfect for me. Because when I was growing up, I often felt that things had strings attached in my family. And that's not loving. It's not loving when there's strings attached. And I used to get kind of blindsided by the strings that were attached. And my grandmother would say, well, I did all this for you. And I'm just asking you to do this one thing. You won't do this one thing for me. And that just always felt so icky. Like you never told me there were strings attached. And so that taught me that I feel better if I don't accept things from other people because I don't want any strings attached. And so one of the results in that was I was less receptive to the universe because I didn't want those strings attached. I didn't want anybody to manipulate me by giving me something in order to get something back from me. So, in order to eliminate that kind of manipulation, I would really not be receptive to the gifts that people wanted to give to me. So, when Gina explained that to me, I totally got it. And I could say, I'm all in for this. I love this kind of relationship where if I would like to give you something, I'll give it to you. You can receive it or not. That's up to you, but you owe me nothing. We're not trying to outgive each other or keep the score even, none of that. And so we have been really close friends for, I don't know, 14 years or something like that. And we have traveled many places together, and it's wonderful. And we don't have arguments about anything, and everything works out well. And that's how I'm interested in living my life, where nobody can take advantage of me because I am consciously choosing what I say yes to. And I'm not trying to manipulate anybody by giving them things. I'm a giver. I like to give things. I like to make things and give them away. Like I make a workshop and give it away. I write the blog and I give it away. I make the prayers and I give it away. I like Sundays with Spirit and I give it away. I like to make things and give them away. And if somebody gives something back, that's great. And I trust that that which is helpful and useful will bring support from the universe and to sustain it. And if not, it won't happen. And so for me, a lot of it is about, am I receptive? Am I receptive to people's kind words? Am I receptive to people's loving actions? Am I receptive to people's help? Am I receptive to spiritual insight and inspiration? Am I receptive to abundance and prosperity? Am I receptive? So for me, one of the things that I spent years focusing on was really recognizing that because I went through that whole thing of wanting to be independent rather than interdependent, because I didn't want to get trapped into somebody else's expectations from me, people needing things from me that I didn't want to give, where they had in their mind, I had agreed to give them something I never agreed to. Getting out from under all of that, it took me a couple of years to really stop giving to get for myself and not manipulating other people by giving to them and moving into that free flow. And it's so worthwhile. And it's been helpful to me to cultivate that receptivity. And one of the aspects of that shift and change in my life is I realized that everything that I receive in this world, it comes from God. And everything that I give in this world, I give to God because God is all there is. So everything I give to God. Everything I receive from God. And so living in that way, I don't have to keep score anymore. I used to be such a scorekeeper because I felt so insecure. I wanted to make sure that all my debts were paid and that I didn't owe anybody anything. And I always wanted the score to be that I had given more than I had received, but that's controlling and manipulating. And so being free of that, I realized what I really would like is to be able to give to whomever I feel inspired to give to, and to receive freely, without guilt, without any sense of obligation, from anyone who freely wishes to give to me. And that way, maybe somebody who has more money will give to me, and then I have more freedom to give time, energy, and attention to someone who doesn't have much money, who is struggling. And so I can use my gifts and talents in the way they're intended, and other people can use their gifts and talents in the way they're intended. And so when it's all God, I'm receiving from God, I'm sharing with God, then that cycle, that circle of sharing is perfect all the time. And I'm so grateful that I realized that I can just completely let go of keeping score, completely. And that the whole thing of keeping score was a mechanism to reinforce separation. So I'm going to invite you to think about keeping score. Where do you keep score in your relationships? Where do you keep score maybe in the workplace? Where in your life are you keeping score with your friends, with your family, your loved ones, your coworkers? Where are you keeping score, and how is it reinforcing your belief in separation? So I'm inviting you to contemplate that while Ted is giving us a song here.
What is one life? One child, one woman, one man. In the vast deserts of life, one grain of sand. What is one life? One child, one woman, one man. But the sand for making the glass, for the window of truth, for us all to see through. Grant us eyes that we might see, still our minds that we might hear, bring us to oneness, to speak of one life in thee. What is one life? One child, one woman, one man. To sacrifice for me and for you. child, one woman, one man, to sacrifice for the good of the land, so freedom might stand. Grant us your eyes that we might see, still our minds that we might hear, bring us to oneness so that we might speak of the oneness in thee. What is one life, one child, one woman, one man?
Oh, so beautiful.
Oh,
Thank you
thank
so
you.
much. Yes. Thank you so much. Wow. Very beautiful. Appreciate you, Ted. All right. So, taking your contemplation about giving to get and keeping score, and reinforcing your own belief about separation, taking your thoughts about that. Let's go into a short breakout where everyone can share your contemplations on that topic. And we'll go into this breakout. And I think it's so valuable for everybody to have an opportunity to speak their own thoughts. Now, sometimes people don't want to share, which is totally fine, totally understandable. And so in that case, you can just listen. And because there's so much healing that happens when we're listening with compassion. So I'm inviting you to listen with compassion and to be able to hold each person who speaks and shares in your heart as they're sharing. And this is not a long breakout. So I'm going to invite you to make sure everybody in the group gets to share if they would like to. And then we'll come back and finish up but this is a time for your healing in your sharing. So here we go. I'm opening the rooms. So let me know if you need help getting into the room. All right. So, Ted, I saw you had a couple of nods and uh, head head snaps. What did that? What did what I share bring up for you?
Well, you know, I made a friend. I'm down in I'm down in Florida. We have a little trailer here,
Yep.
and one of my brother-in-laws introduced me to a man that was born. There was a thing with certain medication or something that women would take, you know, back in the 50s.
Right.
And the child would be born with, he only has like one arm and a few fingers on one hand, uh, but he can walk and everything. This guy, we became friends. We were introduced, and to my this floored me. And what you were talking about is it. So he had never. His dad belonged to a fishing club. They had
Hmm.
a little group of people, and they have a little marina and docks, and here he is, this boy with one arm, and but he loves sailing.
Hmm.
Never owned a sailboat. I mean,
Hmm.
I'm a sailboat. I mean, I raced for years. Believe me, I about killed myself a number of times with both hands. And he recovered a sunken ship after a hurricane that was blocking the harbor, and they dragged it over to this marina where his dad was, a fishing club, and got the thing dried out. He had the motor pulled out. I mean, and this is I think it's 26-foot boat. It's not, and I raced a 23. So this is, to me, was a lot of boat. And he restored this thing. It's really something. One
Wow.
hand. So, but he didn't know how to sail. So Bob introduced me to him, and started doing some sailing classes, and he learned how to sail. And I mean, teaching him to tie knots with one hand was like, it was amazing to me what this guy could do. So I thought I made a friend for life.
Yeah.
And I thought I was a friend of his for life.
Yeah.
So so for the first few years I came down to Florida, I mean, I would spend it with him, and we, refurbish the boat, go out sailing, teach him stuff. Um, so this last winter, I mean, I had my own stuff going on. I was in the hospital a couple times. I mean, I had stuff,
Yeah.
physical stuff going on. And he just let me know in no short terms that, about a friend contract. You mentioned, how friends, that you don't want to, I don't want an interdependent contract. I want to be able to come down here, enjoy him, and we can talk, we can text, we can do those things. Uh, but I mean, he literally, what you were talking about, keeping score, he
Yeah.
literally would keep score. If he called me more than I called him, I mean, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Um, so that I can't, when you started talking, I mean, he came into my mind, and I can't let him go. And now that I'm in Florida right now, it's like, I want to see him. Uh, but I just want to have a relationship. I don't want to have to feed you know, this friend contract. So I haven't let him know I'm down here yet, but so nothing like hitting me with a velvet hammer today, Jennifer.
Well, let me ask you if you don't mind. I mean, I think this is a perfect example because I have felt like your friend. I called them, they didn't call me. I invited them to this, they didn't invite me to anything. I've definitely had those thoughts in the past, and I've definitely had people say to me the same kinds of things. Hey, I invited you to this. And I think we all have had those kinds of experiences. So, um, how do we handle that from the higher perspective? What did you say to him when he talked about the friend contract?
I I was specific in saying that um, I was caught off guard. I told him, that this whole conversation is kind of surprising me because uh, you know, you've got your life, your children, your wife, your boat, your life in Florida, you're retired, that's it. And I'm a snowbird. I'm just going to come down here and figured if I came down here, we get a chance to hang for a little while and, go out, do some sailing. Wow, that's, you know, great for me. Ocean sailing is. And, but he didn't agree to that. He didn't say, yeah, I get it. Sure. No, it wasn't that at all. Um,
What do you think the meaning he made of it was?
you know, um, even though of, oh, I almost hate to say this, but I believe it's true because he had that handicap. Forgive me, Lord. It made him special. And so I think that when he was growing up, people, because he's a bright man. He's in computer technology. I mean, he with intercom computers. I mean, not somebody down in the working in the cubicles. I mean, he was up there doing the stuff. Um, so yeah, I treated him as a friend, as a brother, and he was used to being treated special.
Mm.
I'm sorry I said that. That's terrible. I mean, I feel bad even saying that about him, but he
It's
is
your
special.
perception.
I mean, he's a unique guy. I
Right.
mean, and if you, in a personality, good conversation, has a master of the language. I mean, to talk to him is like, okay, take it down a couple pages out of the dictionary because I didn't understand what the hell that meant, because he would use, you know, you know, use the words with only four syllables. You start using six and seven. No, we're out here sailing, having a beer. You lost me.
Yeah.
So yeah, uh, yeah. But you know what? I do have to face this, and I am going to face this with him while I'm down here this year. Um, because I needed just to get it off my heart, you
Mm.
know. And
Thank
I
you for
and I want to. And right now he's calling me the bad guy, and I'm nice guy Ted. I'm not the bad guy,
mm.
if you know what I mean.
Yep, I
Because
do.
I try to not I try not to be the one to make waves. I try not to be the one to, make people feel less than
Right.
ever.
Right. Well, you have no intention to make him feel less than. That's his choice, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But here's the part that Jennifer, maybe you can help me out. A part of me says I wasn't important. I was. he's an important part. I mean, when I come down here, I enjoy him and everything like this, but there's a part of me that thinks like I I play a maybe a more important part than I think in his life
That's right.
because I see him as an equal. And when we talk to and we talk about sailing and stuff like that, it's like, okay, I'm going to teach you how to tie a bowline one hand with only three fingers. You're going to have to figure out what's your style, but that's what you need to put on that sail at that point. And and it was amazing to see him do it, to figure it out. Because I mean, I do it with two hands and I've got to pay attention.
Right.
And I've done uh, 10 or 12 of them. So yeah. So I don't know. I'm just going to approach him with love and we'll see how how he takes it.
That's it. That's it. Love is the healer.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that, Ted.
Yeah. I don't know if that was the appropriate
Yeah.
conversation, but yeah. Thank you, Jennifer, letting me and for inviting me. Thank you so much. This
Oh,
is this means so much to me. It's 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 the only expression I have for my music. I play nowhere but for you.
oh. Well, that's not true. That's not true because I know when you're in Florida, you sometimes play.
Oh, don't
At,
talk about the tiki bar.
yes, I'm going to talk about the tiki bar. You play at the tiki bar. You
That
do.
don't count.
Sure it can. Yeah. Anyway, I'm super glad that you joined me in doing this. I love hearing your music every time.
Uh,
Ted's written like hundreds of songs, and so
oh my gosh. I dust them up. In fact, I tried it like that One Life song. I don't think you've heard that. I don't think I've played that before.
yeah,
That's
it was
25
good.
years old.
Yeah, so great.
Um, I sometimes get nervous because I don't play them enough. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Type
I don't know
thing.
how you remember them. Gosh. Oh, okay, there you go. Well, everybody's back from the breakout.
Oh,
So I am going to make some announcements and then I'll turn it over to Ted for another song. I'll say another prayer and we will be complete for today. So announcements. I'm doing a 3-part class called A Life Led by Love. We already did the first part. The next part is tomorrow. Tomorrow there are 2 sessions. They're the same. You can come at 3 p.m. Eastern or 7 p.m. Eastern. And so there's 2 more weeks of sessions. And anyone who signs up now gets the replay of the first session so you don't miss a thing. And people are really loving this class, A Life Led by Love. And then the next thing is next weekend. Friday, I have a forgiveness workshop, and I think I'm going to do it at 10 a.m., 10 a.m. Eastern. So that's early for the West Coast, but I'm doing a variety of different times. And then I'm doing another workshop on Saturday called Accountability with Self-Love. It's my deep dive workshop for January. Life Led by Love and the deep dive on accountability with self-love. Both of those are bonuses for anybody enrolled in Masterful Living this year. And so Masterful Living officially begins on the 27th. So you can enroll in those now and get those bonuses. And then next Sunday, a week from today, I will not be at Sundays with Spirit because I'm going to do a forgiveness workshop. And I think that one is going to be at 3 p.m. because I've got another class at 11 a.m. Oh, my cat's going nuts here. Woo! What are you doing? What are you doing? He's in a very playful mood. Okay. Yeah, so those are the things that are coming up, those workshops. And Masterful Living, this is the thing. You're setting the tone for the next 9 years. And so if you were ever going to be in Masterful Living, this is the time to do it. And I know many of you have already signed up. So, and then the other announcement is your donations make it possible for all these free forgiveness workshops, all the Sundays with Spirit, because that's what pays the salaries for the people on the staff who do the emails, and Heidi, who's here today, supporting us and doing the live stream on Facebook, et cetera, et cetera. So thank you for your donations to the Power of Love Ministry. That's all I got for announcements. I'm going to turn it over to Ted to give us another song, and then I'll sing.
Well, quick announcements. I've been part of the ministry for a number of years, and for the last 3-4 years, part of the men's ministry, and now I basically coordinate it with a couple of other fellows every week on Wednesdays. So you guys, anyone it's every Wednesday. It used to be every other Wednesday, and now it's every Wednesday. And I'm also part of the bereavement, the grief group, which is once a month, the first Monday of the month, with Dina and Megs. And we talk about loss, suffering, and it can be from a cat, a dog. Doesn't have to be. Doesn't have to be. It's the same.
Yes.
It's the same burden. So, boy, anyone interested, please, on Monday nights. And and hopefully more to come stuff. And I thoroughly enjoy doing Sundays with Spirit because I get to sing these songs that are decades old. This song here is decades old, and it kind of shows you how life is around us. Pretty much doesn't change a lot. We talk about in A Course in Miracles about whatever form it takes. Just it's our space and time, and but this is one I wrote, and I just decided I wanted to share it in light of everything that's going on in the world.
Thank you, Ted. Hey, before you begin, I would just, if you don't mind, I'm going to ask Heidi to put up the poll about what time is best for people for free forgiveness workshops, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So you can always move the poll to the side while Ted is playing, and you can click it closed when you're done with it. And so I hope you don't mind. I'm going to put that up there while you're doing that.
No, I don't mind. She's easy peasy. It's a shame, it's a pity, bloodshed in a poor city by an angry young man. There's an outrage and fury, courtroom and jury, the boy's sentenced to die. In the bars they're rejoicing, buying drinks, and they're toasting as the mothers cry. What can we do, me and you? What can we do in a world torn in two? down in a plush office, a lot of young ones focused on an unborn life. Window crashes in the room, the blast is their doom, more mothers cry. As ships on the horizon are guided by wise men protecting our lives. The call, no surprise, let the rockets fly, and more mothers cry. What can we do? Me and you. What can we do in a world torn in two? On a cross upon a hill, living out his father's will, the young man dies. Friends gather round and stare at the mother's fallen tears under darkened skies. They sigh, what can we do? Me and you. What can we do in this world torn in two? And the mother cries, we love, 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 we love. Whoa.
What is that whoa for?
Oh man, you know, with everything going on, Jenny, I'm telling you, it's like sometimes to turn on the TV and hear what's going on. You know, I don't want to turn blind and not know what's going on. You know, I make my little posters. I go out on the little walks and the little protest. I do all that stuff, but ready for love, man. Ready for the love.
Yes. Yep.
Thank you, Jennifer.
Thank you for joining me, Ted. Thank you to everyone. Yes. So much love. We have so much love to hold it in. Ooh, it makes people sick. I used to withhold love. I didn't understand that I was hurting myself by doing that. So glad I realized that's not the way. Yeah. I used to think if you love and love and love, you'll get hurt all the time. No, when you really love without needing anything in return, without keeping score, you don't get hurt. If people reject it, they reject it. It has nothing to do with me. Yeah. I feel better when the love is flowing through me. So I love freely. Yeah. Ah, yes. Love is what we are. So when we are being loving, we remember our true identity. Let's move into prayer. I invite you to place your hands on your heart. We're wholeheartedly recognizing the power of love within us, wholeheartedly recognizing that we are born to love, born to live fully from our loving hearts. And we are grateful that this is the path that we're on it together. We're unstoppable. Everything is for us. Nothing is against us. So we go forward with more love being expressed in our lives. We are grateful to live from that high vibration, knowing that like attracts like. So we're choosing to be that loving presence and to shine the light of love, reminding everyone in our life that they too are love. We're grateful to share the benefits with all. We let it be, and so it is. Amen. 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 Thank you. Thanks, everybody. Mwah. Thank you, Ted. Thank you, Heidi. Thank you all. Love you.